everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching today. So I'm going to show you how I've made this box card using the new Parrot puppet. If you've not seen how these work before, you just pull the tab and then the character moves. So this collection is called It's Only More Puppets, because I released 6 puppets about 2 years ago and it was for Christmas, and I'll link those ones up here so you can get some, more inspiration. But I want to just show you different ways that you can use the puppets on fun fold cards. You can use them on gift bags. They can be toppers on gift boxes. You can have them as standalone puppets as well, and I've got a tutorial for that. So hopefully you've got plenty of inspiration. But this one here, I've got all of the different toys hanging from these strips here, and also from the bottom here you've got the water bowl, the little perch, and there's a little ladder in there as well. And the new papers decorate the back. You've got your space on the back to write message. This is a bigger size, so this one folds down to 7 by 7. This will fit in my 7 by 7 box envelopes, which I have on the channel. Again, I'll link those up here. So although this one's called the Perfect Parrot die set, this can be changed into other birds as well. All of these pieces you can take away, you can change the colours of them. So if you want to make a budgie or a cockatiel or other beautiful birds, I'm sure you'll be able to do that by just changing up your colours and adding in a little bit of extra detail here and there. So it's a fun one to make. Here's one of my favourites. So let me show you how to make it. Okay, so first of all, we will start building the box. So this is a piece of 10 by 7. And along the 10-inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2.5, 7.5, and 9.5. Fold and burnish all of the score lines, and you want to have it so it's like this. I've then taken this paper here from the new paper pad, and I've just trimmed it down ever so slightly so it fits inside there. Just take a little slither off of the sides. So I'm going to stick that down. I'm just using my construction glue, so it's going to make that back nice and strong. I'm just thinking it might be nice to cover the sides as well when you're looking in, so it's kind of wrapped that design all the way around. So I think I'm going to trim another one. This is obviously optional, but if you do want to cover, you might want to cover the outsides. I'm going to keep the outsides white and just have all the detail inside the box. So again, for these, because I want to keep it like this where there's hardly any border, well, the space here is 2 by 7, so you just want to make it a little bit under that. Then you want to cut yourself 6 strips. To be honest, you may want less. You don't have to have 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. You may just want to have 2, or maybe even just 1. But if you want to do it the same as me, then 6 strips that are 6 by 1/2 inch. And along that 6-inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 and 5.5, and just fold those. These are going to stick 3 along the bottom and then 3 along the top, so we can have things attached coming up from the bottom and coming down from the top, because we've got things like the little perch here, so I want that to be attached at the bottom. But then we've got the cute little toys here that hang down, so I wanted to have a couple of those like so. And then I've got the ladder, so I wanted to have that again. So it's just all dependent on what you want to have sticking down. I've also got the little water bowl there as well, so we'll see what we do with that one. So to attach these, I'm going to use my quick grab glue and just add it to one of the ends here, and you're going to stick it, so you want it to butt up to the fold there, and just stick it onto that side like so. And then take another one. I want these to kind of hide behind my frame, which I'm going to show you in a moment. So now this one, you're going to sit next to this one here, and again just fold it so it runs nice and parallel with the one underneath, and then take that one, and the last one you're going to do the same position, and then lie that down over the top. You're then going to repeat that at the top here. So now you want to add your glue onto the ends of all of these here and here, and then you're just going to fold this one over. And that is how it will be in the envelope. So that is your 7 by 7 size when it's flat, and that will go into one of my box envelopes. And now when you bring that all up, once that's down, you'll see we've got the 3 panels at the top and the bottom all ready now for us to decorate and hang things from. You may have these as acetate. I wasn't too worried because the frame that I've got here, when that sits over the top, you know, they're hidden behind there. Okay, so this one here is a piece of 5x7, and then I've just made my frame 5/8 of an inch all the way around. So just mark with a pencil at 5/8, and then in again 5/8, mark at 5/8, and come in this side and join that up, and then again along this side 5/8, 5/8 in, again along the bottom, join it up, and then you'll have this shape, and you can just cut that with your trimmer or with your cutting knife, or use a die. If you've got a die that's going to give you a nice frame that will cover any of the detail there, then just use that. So I don't want to stick that on just yet, because in between that layer is going to be the mechanism. So this is a piece of acetate that I have cut the 5x7 mechanism into. So you get your plate, your die, and your pull tab. This one here is what I've used. Okay, that is going to go, I need to give this a good clean, but that's going to go in here with then this over the top. I'm going to cut the little finger pull just with a punch so that it can marry up with the one underneath, and then the parrot will be on the front. So it's a really fun style. Like I said, I was really trying to think of fun other ways to use these dies, and I think the box card's actually really good. Park all that to one side for the moment. Oh, actually, while you've got that set out, you'll want to cut 2 of the pull tab here, stick them together so it's nice and strong, and then just add your little arrow. So I've done a black arrow for this one, just so it really pops against the white. So leave all that there. So now we can start building our parrot. So this is the set here. I like to lay mine out on the magnetic sheet so it looks like the parrots. You've got the head, everything you need for the head and the face, then the body and the wings, and then the legs, and then you've got all the props around. And this here is the beak. So you can see the set here, you get 19 dies. So all of the ones that are coloured are all your dies, and then the black and white images are all of your stamps. Use the image here as a reference because it's all highlighted, so it helps you position it where it needs to be. I would say the parrot is probably the easiest one to put together. There aren't those real tiny little bits that there are on some of the other ones, so he's pretty quick to do. So I've just used this lovely bright green cardstock here. It's actually the little green cardstock if you've got that one. So you can see you've got the body here, and then you've got this piece here. I've kept him all green, but you know, just Google cartoon parrots and you'll get so much inspiration. Then you've got the cute little legs here, and I've just added a little bit of orange to the bottom there. I'll talk you through how I've achieved the looks on the props in a moment. So all of those. And then you've got your large wings here. So you've got one for the left, one for the right. And some of the dies have stencil detail. So you'll see I've added a bit more detail here. So when you die cut it, keep it in the die. Then using a little sponge in your inks, just dab it over the top and you'll transfer the colour to give you that design. And then just rinse that under the tap. And then we've got these ones here, and they sit over here. So just line up the holes and you'll see how they layer over the top. Like so. Then we've got the head. And then the red is all the beak. This piece here is for his hair, just that one there. These here is this die, and it will cut the little feathers, his little tail. So you can position these, because these ones actually stick directly behind the body. So you can position them, you know, have them multiple colours. It's entirely up to you, but they're going to be about there. And then this is the beak here. So you'll see here, these two look very similar. Okay, but the longest one, or the tallest one, is the one that goes at the back. This one sits on the top of it and line up the bottom. And you'll see you get that little bit of detail at the top there, which is the same as this detail here. If I just hold that up, so that's the big one. But you see the tips on them are exactly the same. That's what you want to line up. See where you line the tips up there? There we go. You've got that little bit overhang. And then this one will go underneath, and you want to bring that right under so it opens up, and you'll see there we've got the beak. If I just pick that all up for the minute and just place it like so. And then you've got your, use my pickup tool. I've been using this with every single puppet. So you've got one there, And the little eyes. And it's once you start adding all this in, then it just comes to life. You get this fun character. I'll move that down a little bit in a minute because it's all moved out of place, but that will sit in there, and that's like the little tongue. Once it's all stuck down, it obviously looks really good, but you can see there how that all looks when it's laid out. And then just going through the props. So for the little perch here, I cut it in brown card and then in silver card, and in the silver piece I just snipped off this part and just stuck that over the top. Similar with the ladder, I cut it in gold, and then I also cut it in the brown. But in the brown I snipped all of this away, so I just was left with the two strips and just stuck those over the top. With this one here, I cut it in silver, then I cut it in red, and the red one I snipped off this part and then just stuck all of that over the silver. And then I cut it again in yellow, and I just kept all these pieces, so I just snipped everything away. So I just had these pieces and then just stuck that on top, so it gives you that fun effect. And again, very similar with the bell. Cut it in silver, then I cut it in gold, cut everything off apart from the bell and stuck that on top. And then I cut it in red and just kept this portion, stuck that on top, and then I cut it in yellow and just kept the strips and stuck those on top. So you're just layering it all up, but on the back, that is that original silver, which is the main one. And then with this one, again, cut it in silver, cut it in blue, piece the blue into the middle and use some of my accent glaze. And then on the back, there was a piece of scrap card, but I just doubled it up and then cut it out, and then it doesn't cut right the way through the bottom. And then you can use that to stick it all on. So now we want to stick this all down. So I like to stick this little piece, like the body part, which is on most of them. I just like to lift it up on a bit of foam. You don't have to, there's already a lot of dimension. So I'm just going to have that like so. And then I want to take these pieces here and just stick them directly onto the back of the body there. That's not going to interfere with any of the workings at all. And I'm going to add a little glue just along the neck there and attach the head. And take the hair, again add a little glue. And I'm going to stick this one down first. And I'm going to add a little glue here and stick the tongue on, because that does need to tuck just under. You'll see it kind of fits, you know, within that shape of this piece. And then I'm going to add some glue along there. I'll just bring this up so it's easier to see. And just kind of sit that slightly over the tongue there. And then because that's lifted up on some foam, I'm just going to add a little foam onto the back there. If you didn't add foam to that piece, you could just stick this straight down. And I'm going to position that one about there. A little glue there for the eyes. I'm actually going to sit them just behind the beak. And then again, just add a little more glue, just a tiny little dot. And then I might add some white with my gel roll. But I think that looks quite cool. He is one of my favourites. I just think he just looks really fun. So pop him and all of those pieces to one side. You just want these pieces, this and the tab for the minute. And you're going to need some 5mm brads. So I'm going to use these bright green ones. And you want 8 of them. So with this one here, I'm going to take the right hand side. You want to sit those over the top. And I think I'm going to actually add a little bit of glue. The brad will hold them anyway, but I'm just going to add a little glue there just to tack it in place. I think it'd be a bit easier to use then. Okay, so we've got that one piece now. You're going to take a brad and you're going to pop it in the outer circle there, and you'll do that for all of these. You're only working on the outer circle for the minute. You're just going to then pop it through this right side here of the pull tab. So the top 2 are for the arms, the bottom 2 are for the legs. And then just open up the brad there, or the split pin, some people still call it that, and then just using my poker tool, I like to open it out over my tool here, and that way the brad doesn't lie completely flat with the card, and it means it just moves really freely. That's how I always use my brads, and you would have seen me do that on like the Fun at the Fair and the swing cards and things. So again, I'm just going to attach that one on there. Take another brad. again through the outer hole there, and then through this one, and then just repeat that again with the legs. Okay, so now you have something like this. It looks quite funny with the wings. So then you want to take your, in my case, the acetate piece with the mechanism, and I'm actually just going to give this a bit of a clean now. I just used some paper towel, and I've got a little bottle here with some rubbing alcohol in, and just spritz that over each side and give it a good rub. I'll just remove any sticky marks, any static that you might have on there. There we go. So with this piece, the top two again are for the arms and the bottom two holes are for the legs. So now you're going to take your remaining brads and you're going to pop it through the other hole. So here I've got the top right wing. That's going to go in the top right of those 4 holes. Again, open up the brad there. Ooh. And just attach it the same way. And you can do a test at this point, just make sure you can see there that that moves really nicely. And I always forget, and you'll laugh if you've watched all these videos, but you want to slide this piece through the slot first. But if you forget like me, it's still very easy. Even if you bend it, don't worry, because you're going to hide all that, but you need it to be underneath here. You'll see it will sit within that section there. Then again, I like to line up the hole with the hole on the acetate, and then I can just drop the brad through both at the same time. And then again, open that up and just repeat until they're all attached. And then just do a little test. You can see they all move really nicely. I'm just going to mark the center. If you don't have a little circle punch, maybe you might have a small circle die, you could use that. Or just cut a little triangle shape or a square. So I'm just going to mark the centre because I need to make sure I get this bang on. So 2.5 just there. And then I'm just going to come down. I reckon that'll be enough. There we go. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. Next, I want to add some thin red tape. I haven't made this before with the acetate or with the puppets, so I'm just trying to think ahead properly. So if that's going to go, I just need to attach this now. Yeah. So I'm just going to run my tape all around the 4 sides here and just make sure you don't stick it onto your puppet. Like so, and then take the backing off. Okay, and then carefully lay this down over the top. So I'm going to focus on the top here with the finger pull, and then just make sure that I just lift those all up as I drop this down. And then what you'll probably have to do is I'm just going to put a little curve into these pieces because it needs to be able to glide over that frame. You don't want anything catching this. Again, with the feet, I'm just going to put a little shape to them, which just gives him a bit more character anyway, so I think it actually works quite well. But you want them to all be lifted, so you can see now it moves really nicely over that frame. Oh, fingers crossed this is all going to look nice. Okay, then you need to add some foam to support the parrot. So he is now going to sit over all of this. So I've just been doubling up my foam. Some you might have to add 3 layers. You need to make it higher than the brads. A little bit of foam there, and that's going to go above that slot so it can support his head. And then again, just double up the foam, just folding it over there. And then this one, you want to when you add these, you want to push that right down, and this is going to stick towards the arms, towards the top of the arms and near to the inside bar there, but not touching it. And again, like so. So just move all of that and make sure that they're not, you know, going to stick on anything, which they're not. So I think I'm just going to add another layer. Okay, again, keeping this down, you then want to bring the body down so it covers all these brads. Now we've got our fun bird. He's so cute. I think that looks so good. So next we can stick this now onto here, and then in the background you can have everything else. Actually, you might want to stick all those pieces in. I mean, you can do it when it's all in here, when it's all connected, but I think it might be easier for many to do it this way. So I think I'm going to have the ladder towards the back. So I'm just going to add a little glue. I might stamp a couple of my birds. I love stamping them. They're from my very first stamp set, but whenever I have a sky, I always like to stamp a couple of the little birds. So it's this set here, Fabulous Flight. Some of them you're not going to see, but it's just another nice little decoration there. We'll do one towards the top here. There we go. You can stamp your sentiment there as well if you're not going to have, you know, too much. You might want to have a little sentiment stamp there as well. It's entirely up to you. Just trying to give you lots of ideas, different ways to use all of this. So I think that one will go there. And then let's have, do this one, I think more towards the front. You could put a mirror in this as well. Don't worry if it drops back like that, because when it's upright, it's going to just hang really nicely, like so. You could add a swing element inside this as well, and I've done similar on like my diorama cards. I'm going to put this one right on the back. Food bowl, I think I might have on the very front. There we go. I think that looks really cool. Now I'm thinking I might stamp a sentiment right along this frame. So the food bowl, you're kind of just going to see it. If I just have it right on the edge, you will get to see it. Yeah, perfect. So now in the set, there are some longer sentiments. So hoping, there we go, happy birthday. I think that's perfect. Or spread your wings and fly. That will fit really nice. You got apparently, it's your birthday. You could snip that and have that part maybe up here or on a circle sentiment. You could have a circle, you know, stuck over there. As long as it doesn't interfere with the workings, it's going to be fine. I might stamp some of his feet. Actually, that would have been good to have stamped in the background, is his feet. But I might do a couple just going up the side there. But I think for the sentiment, I'm going to do happy birthday. So you can still stamp this even when he's all on there. Just position it off the plate a little bit. I think I'm going to snip into this one. So I just have two of them, or like a pair. Again, I always cut into my stamps, it doesn't damage them at all, and it's easy to line them back up again. But I think just a couple of little feet up there. They look like kisses as well. Little XOXO. There we go. So now I'm going to run my thicker red tape, because this will stick well onto the acetate, and just run that right down there. I've got some other bits stuck to it by the looks of it. Put that is there, get rid of that. And just to make sure I don't have any of this showing, I'm going to cut a little wedge off of these tab ends here. Okay, make sure that's all secure. Take all the backing off, and then I'm going to stick it down while it's flat. So I'm going to line up this side first and then fold that all under. So now I'm just going to finish it off with, I was going to add some white detail to his eyes. So this is just the white jelly roll. It's size 10, and I'm just going to add a little detail on his eyes there, like so. And then I'm thinking about adding my glaze all on his nose. And there you go. I love this. He is, like I said, one of my favourites, and I think this card style works really, really well. I've got to be careful with the glaze there, but you can see again how he works. And then you've got your space all on the back to write your message. It displays perfectly, but I don't want to keep it like that for too long because the glaze will run. So I'm going to keep it like that for now. So thank you once again for watching today. I hope this has given you some inspiration and fun ways to use the Parrot or any of the puppets. They will work also on this card style. I'll have some other puppet tutorials popping up now. And as always, all of the product that I've used is linked in the description box below. If you've enjoyed today, please give me a thumbs up because it really does help out the channel. And I'll be back again very soon with more tutorials. Take care. Bye.